Hello everybody, it's me, Heather, and today I wanted to do a review / tutorial of the NYX Sex Bomb Femme Fatale eyeshadow palette. This is definitely one of those you get what you pay for kind of palettes, I guess, in that it's not expensive, but it's obviously not the cheapest one out there. It retails for, I believe, $7.99, and I ordered mine. Sorry, I was just using it. I ordered mine online from Ulta.com. I'm sure it'll be in store soon if it's not already there. And the moment I saw this red eyeshadow, I was like, I have to have this palette. So the look I created, obviously, I wanted to put the red center stage. You're welcome to wear the red a little bit more subtly, but let me talk a little bit more about the palette. First off, I like that it is easy to open and close since I've got my little French manicure talons right now. Easy to open, close, good snap and closure. Comes with a nice little double-sided sponge applicator. I really never use these. It's an industry standard, but they're included in eyeshadow palettes, but it's a nice sizable one. And let's actually talk about the actual shadows themselves. Okay, so the first eyeshadow is the red one. This eyeshadow applies better with a flat panel brush. It applies better if you use swiping strokes as opposed to tapping it in or swirling it in. If you swirl it, it gets really powdery, it makes a ton of mess. This one has decent pigmentation. It's kind of a black shimmery shade. Any eyeshadow brush works well with it. The color picks up well. It's not powdery. This one is the most disappointing shade in the palette. It's basically just very, 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 very sheer glitter. And even now, I applied it in the corners of my eyes. You can barely see it. So, just a heads up. Even when I tried to swatch this, it just trying to make this show up on my arm with or without primer. It's just a very, very, very sheer shade. I'm kind of not really sure why it's in the palette. I guess it's just like, well, we need 6 shades. Let's just throw this one in. I'm not sure. This one has a good formulation, as in it doesn't really have any kind of fallout. It's not powdery when you apply a brush, but again, it's really sheer. So I have this on the eyebrow or on my brow bone area, and it's nice for a really subtle highlight area, really subtle. But yeah, not a lot of pigmentation. This one has good pigmentation and also not a powdery formula to it. This one's good for using like near the crease to help blend out any darker shades you're wearing. And then this one is kind of a satin finish black. It's not matte and it's not shimmery. It's that right in between. It's satin. So it has really nice texture to it, as in you're able to pick up a ton of product, but you pick up a little too much because tapping your brush in or swirling it in, it just gets really, really powdery and it leaves a ton of powder. So it's really easy for your brush to eat through the product really fast. And then again, if you use like swiping motions, it just pulls off so much product. So it's really, really well pigmented, but it's super powdery, what have you. So when you're applying it, you probably, if you want to apply this, any of these shades in this palette, you probably want to use like a tissue or a napkin and like hold it underneath your eye to catch any of the fallout, because especially with this shade and this shade, there's a lot of, there's glitter fallout, and then you got the black satin eyeshadow fallout. So all in all, if you're a fan of NYX and you're familiar with the varying quality of their eyeshadows, it's nice to pick up. It's, if you want something bold, and I mean a bold look, like this every day, you don't have to pass on it. You don't have to have it. It's kind of mediocre. I believe, like I said, I think it's $7.99. It's not bad. But if you guys do like the look that I created using this, go ahead and watch on. I have a tutorial coming up. And what else was I going to say? Oh, and everything else that's on my face, I will list in the description bar down below. Because when I do the tutorial, I already have everything on except for the eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara. But I already have my eyebrows, my foundation, lips, powder, blush, highlighter, bronzer, everything I'll put in the description bar down below. Okay, enjoy the tutorial. Okay, so let's start this tutorial. We're using the NYX Sex Bomb eyeshadow palette, or Sex Bomb Femme Fatale. And before anything, you definitely need to use a good eyeshadow primer with this palette to get decent color payoff. So I'm going to use my favorite eyeshadow primer, which is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, the anti-aging formula. And I'm just going to apply that on my lids all the way up from the lid all the way up to my brow on both eyes. Now obviously this palette can be worn in a number of ways, and the way I'm going to show you is I really want this red to be the focal point of my eye look. I know a lot of people are going to use this red shade a lot more subtly than I will, but for those of you that really want to rock out with this palette, this will be a look that you'll probably like. So I'm just going to take a flat panel eyeshadow brush. This is just an Urban Decay one, and I find this one actually works better if you actually swipe it into the color as opposed to tapping it in or swirling it in. If you swirl it in, it gets really powdery and makes a mess. And you definitely want to tap this off a lot. Okay, then you actually want to swipe this on your lid. Again, as opposed to tapping it on, you actually want to swipe it on. It just seems like the color builds up better and faster if you use swiping motions with this eyeshadow as opposed to patting it on. And I'm just going to cover my lid up to the natural crease. And I'm going to do this a couple of times to really build up the color. So I'm going to do this on both eyes. Now I'm going to take this black kind of satin shade. It's not quite matte, but it's not totally shimmery. And most of the shades in this palette are kind of powdery, so be really careful picking up products because it gets really powdery. You can probably already see right there. So I'm going to pick this color up. I'm going to tap off as much as I can. And since I've already done all my makeup, to save time, I already did everything. Blush, highlighter, bronzer, lip gloss, eyebrows, everything. I want to protect my makeup. I'm just taking a tissue and I'm going to place it under my eye here to catch that fallout. And I'm just going to go right in my natural crease. Then actually right here at the corner, I want to bring it up. And don't worry, towards the end I'll really start blending this all. For now I'm just kind of dealing with placement. I just want to get everything where I want it for right now. Now I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to take this black kind of sparkle shade. I'm going to pick up some of that product. This one's not as powdery as the others. So you can swirl in there a little more as opposed to swiping. Pick up that product, tap off, tap off, tap off, can't say it enough. And I'm going to go ahead and take my tissue again and try to protect my cheek here a little. I'm going to go right under my eye and just connect right there. You can use a thinner brush. You don't have to use one as thick as I'm using. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the highlighter shade just so that when I apply the blend out shade here, that's why I'm considering the blend out shade, it'll be easier to blend. It'll have something to blend onto better. So I'm going to go ahead and take this highlight shade. I'm using a slightly fluffy brush. And in this case, I'm actually able to just pat the brush on there. I don't have to swirl it or swipe it on there. I can just kind of pat it on there and it picks up a decent amount of product. And I'm just going to go all through here, all through this empty space. I'm even going to put a little right there on the inner corner, just so we have something to blend on. So it's not just eyeshadow primer that's probably going to grab the color and really make it stick. And as you can see, the pigmentation on this one is really sheer anyway, but it's enough to just brighten up the area. And then in a moment we'll use the blend out shade. Before I do the blend out shade, I'm actually going to take this shade right here. This one is probably, honestly, the most disappointing shade in the palette. It's really just like sheer glitter. It's not very pigmented. It's just basically sheer glitter. So I'm just going to try to pop a little bit right here in the corner. And I can see it in my mirror, but it's not even reading on camera. So you could try using a flat panel brush. That'll probably give you a little bit more pigmentation, but I'm just going to pop it right here on the outer corner pretty generously, trying to make it show up. Now I'm going to apply this shade and use this as a blend out shade between the crease and the highlighter shade. I'm using the same brush that I used for my highlighter shade, since the highlighter shade is so sheerly pigmented, and this one has just such a nice little angle to it, so I can really get in there. And again, this one you're able to really just tap your brush in it. You don't need to swirl it or swipe it. And just pop it right there, kind of in your crease, really on that line of black, and start blending. And I'm actually going to take a different brush to blend out the color, but I wanted to go ahead and just pop that in there. Now I'm just taking a brush, any old clean brush, and I'm going to blend out these shades a little. Not a little, a lot. Now that my eyeshadow is all blended out on the top here, if you find that the black in the crease is covering up the red shade a little more than you like, you can always go back in with your flat panel eyeshadow brush and just reapply the red and repigment it if you find it got blended out too much. But I'm pretty happy with the way this looks so far. So we want to finish up this look, polish it up a little. So now I'm going to take a black eyeliner. You can take any black eyeliner you like. You can skip this step if you like, but I like to apply a black eyeliner to my waterline. It just, when you want a smoky or like really over the top eyeshadow look with extreme colors, black eyeliner on your waterline is always just a great way to like pop that look some more. So I'm going to do that right quick. Now I'm going to apply a black eyeliner on my upper lash line. You can do whatever you want. You can use a pencil, you can use a pen. I'm using a pen or a marker, however you want to call it. I'm obsessed with this one, Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. I love these. And since I already have it basically winged out here, I'm just going to apply it. And yeah. Now I'm just going to finish up with some mascara. And this is the completed look. Sex Bomb Femme Fatale eyeshadow palette from NYX. So if you like this look or you like this video, feel free to thumbs up. I hope you guys learned something. And any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I love it when you guys interact with me, and I'll try to get back to you. Yeah, I'll try to respond to you. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe so you can be updated about any new videos. Sorry, I just cannot talk today or any other day. I just always trip over my tongue. This is the way it is. And I really make no apologies for that. So I take that sorry back. Okay, so thank you guys so much for spending time with me and watching this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.